In the playlist linked below the like button, the previous video we looked over sending messages in ActiveMQ JMS. Now we're going to look at how we would do receiving messages for our JMS, and you can compare the two. This is all based off Skillsoft, and it's a little bit kind of iffy about how it goes over things, but this is just what I'm taking from it. So for receiving messages JMS, first we set up our file. It's going to look something just like this, like how we've done previously. We're just going to call it active messaging 2. So first we set up our file. Previously we sent the JMS, now we want to receive it. Once we have this project, we can open it like this. We have our Pom.xml file that's giving us an error for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I have gotten some issues with this parent part right here. There might be a way to just replace something, because when I've copied over some other kind of dependencies, like how it was written, I was totally okay running it. The only problem is running it through here like this. So if we were to like open up a new file that has a similar dependency, but we need to also make sure that we include our messaging. Some things we need to have that I haven't done in other projects. So try copying and pasting, not exactly sure. The Skillsoft doesn't go over it. This is just a way to set up the project. So ignoring the error in our Pom.xml file for now, we want to open up an application.yml file, which is just a new file, and you call it application.yml. And inside of here we have our embedded ActiveMQ configuration example. Just them going over it, you have the URL for this, you have the in-memory set to true, you have non-blocking set to true, we have our packages, and we want to trust all packages that come in, and then we have just these values, kind of looking at our like timing and things like that, maximum seconds per connection. And then we have our Spring JMS settings that we need to write down as well. The delivery mode is persistent because we want to persistently keep getting things for our JMS for our listening. So once that's done, we want to make a new class. Now this is responsible for receiving messages for a configured queue. The Spring framework will provide a listen, which listens and displays the message from a designated queue. We need to create our class in order to facilitate this. So we have our message receiver. It's going to look like this. The message is the payload, and we want to read the headers. So this is why we have our @payload string message and our @headers inside of this public void receive message. We have our JMS listener, and the destination is this queue right here. After this, inside of our method right here, we can specify what we want to do with our message after consuming or receiving it. So alternatively, this is the active task when we receive that message, not alternatively, but we're going to print out the message. And then we can do a sysout.println, we can get the headers, and then we can get the timestamp, and then print this out. And so that's going to be how this works. Once that's done, we can go into our active messaging 2. This is the kind of heart of our Spring Boot application. We can run this as a Spring Boot app. I've already done this though, and it's going to look like this inside of our console. If we scroll over, we can see that we have our active messaging 2 applications here. Starting the active 2 application using the Java 15.01 on my computer. No active profile set, and it's not really running anything. It's just starting the activation. Then we have our JVM running. So that's how we would set up for receiving messages. This is all based off Skillsoft and just the notes that I'm taking out of their lessons.